What is up, everybody? Welcome into another show of Ask DLF. We are 10 minutes late, but that's all right. We're
How
still
was your
here.
golf game?
I shot the best out of the four of us. I shot a 40
Oh, I love
or
it.
9, so it was at least worth being 10 minutes late for.
Yeah,
but-
Cal. Hopefully, Cal is able to join us later, but he's going to be potentially even later. So we'll see. But hopefully, he gets to jump on for a little bit.
Yeah. Everything's all right with Cal. He's all good. He's just
Oh yeah, no, he's just caught up with some family things. So we'll see if he
Parenting.
can join us later. Yep, that parenting life,
and all
you know. Well, we don't know. To be fair, we don't know. Maybe you'll know someday soon. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think it'll be a while for me.
I'm sure plenty of people out there know though, so it's all good.
Where's
big
Eric?
day today. Big day. So I say we should just get things going. But first, CDTLB, what is the threshold for a successful tank this year in terms of draft pick? Outside of getting the 101, how far down the draft would you go in this class and still say the tank was effective?
I don't know what is effective. Like effective is such a. How do I answer that? I don't know.
I feel like you shouldn't be basing the success of your tank off of the draft pick you got. I mean, if you got the 101, then. But you could be the 101 and have a really bad team, not a successfully built team.
Did you see this? Sorry, this was worth a disruption. Yeah, sorry about that. I just thought this was
Frank.
I thought this was worth interrupting.
Frank, my dude.
Yeah, was Frank? I think Frank was one of the people who did a big super chat last week. Maybe. I'm honestly not sure.
No, he was
no.
not.
You have a whole list of it, don't you? Your Addison will create the wall of fame if you have a super chat over $50, is what we said on this or any other show on the DLF channel.
Mm-hmm.
Addison will put you on the wall of fame.
Maybe that should be the background. I should create a background with the people's names on it, like in a.
That would be a great idea. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but if you're, I don't. Way beyond my technical capabilities, but if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, it was Caleb last week, Ricky last week, and now Frank.
Frank
so we should probably answer
join the wall of fame. All right. If I want to, I love this. Actually, I love this question. I actually get this question all the time. Philosophical question. I want to trade Foreman to someone for a second, but I have his first. Do you guys trade with people regardless if it would make their team better and make your pick worse? Also, Tyler, apologize to Addison for the Tony trade. What am I apologizing for?
I don't even know. What are you apologizing for?
Which one of us liked Kadarius Toney? I feel like it's neither.
I didn't like Kadarius Toney.
I mean, I liked him more than you.
I think I liked him. Is this in reference to I liked trying to get him before he got traded? For the upside that he would be traded somewhere nice like Kansas City? I don't really know. I don't even remember if I had that take or not.
I'm not sure what take we're talking about because I was the one higher on Tony coming into the NFL for sure.
Because Tony was garbage.
I'm the draft capital snob, so it was definitely me. But anyway, the other part, I want to trade. Okay, so it's basically asking if you have someone else's first, are you willing to trade them players that makes their team better that could make the first worse? It is a factor. It's a factor. If I have someone else's first, I might not want to help them, but someone else will. Someone else will help them. So if I'm getting good value, I don't, I don't necessarily want to,
lose out on
that value. I would take this trade either way.
Yeah, this is exactly like basically Deonta Foreman has entered that level of backup running backs that if you're able to trade for a second, you do that automatically. And so I would do that because the value is there. It's probably more than there for you to get the second. And, it like Tyler said, if that person is willing to pay a second for a running back that they need right now, they're probably asking a lot of other people for different running backs. And, maybe Deonta Foreman ends up being the worst of them. Then it actually doesn't help them out all that much. There's that's like galaxy braining it a little bit too hard. But yeah, Tyler simplified it very nicely that if the value is there for you, do it, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. And it's going to hurt you regardless. So rather benefit you in
That's
one
true.
way and deal with it the other way.
Is this even true? Did I say that? I say a lot of things.
Apologize, Ty.
I'm very, very sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm never sorry. You know that, Addison.
I know. Just because.
Just because. Oh, thank you, Rob.
Are you ready to apologize for Saquon yet?
I think I did that already. I think I did that already.
Well, I feel like I need reminded of the apology for Saquon.
Okay. I mean, I'll apologize for that as soon as you apologize about all the other Penn State players that you might have liked.
Damn.
How about Allen Robinson? Do you like him?
I was on the fence on him.
You were on
this
the
whole
fence?
entire season. Yeah, I never really had a take. He was just there.
Okay. Well, one time I'll get my apology.
You will.
When am I going to get my apology for Kenneth Walker, who you didn't like?
I liked Kenneth Walker.
Not compared to me.
I had him at the 102.
Okay, then I guess you did like him. All right, we're going to have to find something. What about Travis Etienne? Did you like him?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Maybe everyone should just listen to Addison then and just ignore me. Well, what do I know? I don't know. What about George Pickens? Did you like him?
Nah, I liked him pre-draft, then I had that whole dance with him and Jahan.
Oh, no, I know the apology you're going to have to give. The Dameon Pierce apology. That one.
Everybody's been
the
coming
Florida
for
fans are coming for you.
They
are coming for you. They know your Twitter account and they are coming to get you.
And they're all muted.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you. My Patreon is, I will say, I have tried to make more of an effort on this. And you know, there have been some things about it, but as I said, you know, I don't care. Like, I've tried to make more of an effort to try to get back to the people who actually paid for my Patreon faster and spend less time going through my notifications on Twitter. So if you're asking me notifications on Twitter, I'll be honest with you, I'm skipping more of those than ever. I will get back into the start sit. If you noticed, I have some people helping me. The Team Tyler stuff, they're going to help me answer some of the questions. But, you know, if you want an answer from me, this is the best place to come. I mean, this or my show, YouTube, we get to every question, really, pretty much. So this is the best place to come because you get to hear me answer. There's a difference. I always say that's why I think everyone should at least try to do video or at least a podcast content. Because it's very different to hear someone answer. You can really hear how they feel about it. If you just read an article, you can't really tell from just reading it how someone feels. You're just reading a Twitter response. You don't know how I feel. You just know what I said. You just know which player I picked or which side of the trade I picked. But if you come on here and actually listen to the response, you can tell kind of how more than just an answer, how I feel. So I always say these live shows are the best place to get an answer. But the Patreon is another good place if you want a more detailed response. You want me to actually look when I'm not on camera, look at your team, look at and breaking it down and all that. I can go into a little bit more detail because I have some time to think about it. On a live show, I got to go. But yes, I appreciate this. And I just appreciate everyone who's been supportive of me, my co-hosts, both on this show and others, and everyone who's in my Twitter groups and all that. I've always been very supportive of me this year. And just appreciate it.
I do. I will apologize to Miles Sanders up to this point.
Yes, I owe Miles Sanders an apology. I'm sorry that I listened to him when he said not to draft me. I'm sorry that I listened to he said he would score 2 to 3 fantasy points a game. I'm sorry I trusted him. So I blame him for this. That's my apology.
So back to this question. Do you have anything to add to the
No, I don't.
A successful tank?
I don't. I mean, the successful tank is building future assets, building picks. So yeah, getting the 101 is great, but it's not the only way to evaluate it. You know that. You said that. And I think that Addison does a lot of good content about this during the off season. I think people might want to tune into the YouTube where Addison talks about trading with Russ Fisher Outhouse. There's that. And I also think Addison creates a lot of good content about Dynasty strategy during the offseason. Maybe people should watch it. Just a suggestion.
We're starting our off-season planning right now, by the way. Like we're moving we're halfway through the regular season.
Hey, I've been
beginning to
creating a
work on the
lot of
off-season.
content on my YouTube. If you want some extra, just you know where to find me.
Just copy it, move it over. We'll get copyright.
Yeah, I mean, I would port it. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to record it twice.
Is Jalen Waddle wide receiver 3 yet?
Well, I mean, you picked an interesting week. They all did well. Every wide receiver did well.
Mm-hmm. Is wide receiver 3 a tier of like 4 or 5 wide receivers?
3 for me. Lamb, Brown, and Waddle.
Yeah. And Higgins is right after that.
Higgins is a little bit lower. He didn't really deliver yesterday, did he? I mean, he scored that late touchdown, but
yeah, he got the touchdown.
He was kind of sucking it up the whole game.
The Bengals were sucking it up the entire game.
Well, I mean, I had a take on my show where I said that Jamar Chase made Joe Burrow into an elite quarterback, and he's not elite without him. And that take looks pretty good after one game.
Wow.
But, what do I know?
I like it. Kenneth Walker is the RB blank.
Oh, good question. I have him at RB3.
Oh. Is Breece Hall still above him?
Breece Hall's 2.
JT and Breece Hall.
JT's 1. Yeah.
And then Bijan slides in right as that.
No. Bijan would be 1 with a bullet.
Right. He slides in right up top.
Oh, yeah. He'd be 1 with a bullet. There's not even going to be any competition for number 1. He's going to be RB1 when he comes in for sure. I've pretty much already made up my mind.
Who's 4 and 5?
4 is ETN and 5 is Barkley.
Love to hear it. Love it. Cecil Fielder. 12-team Superflex, start 10 PPR, 2023 1.05 or the 2023 111
How do you know these exactly?
We're guesstimating.
We're guessing. Okay.
Would you trade a mid first for a late first? Like this guy's in second place, and a mid second. Are you making this move now?
I would take the 105 if that's what you're asking.
I would also take the 1.05.
Yeah.
Same league, different question. CEH in a mid second or Ramondre?
Ramondre. Easily.
Ramondre.
Yeah.
D Magoon, 10-team Superflex, PPR, start 11. Have Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Trey Lance, Baker Mayfield, Taylor Heineke, and Sam Ehlinger. Do I trade a top quarterback for skill players? What can I get for Justin Herbert? For Waddle and CeeDee Lamb?
Well, okay, that might be something I would consider. But that's actually a pretty good return. I mean, that's 2 top 5 wide receivers. I might have to do that. I don't think you can get that, though. I actually am thinking that you should buy Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert.
You can't buy Justin Herbert.
Well, yeah, but
for everybody else out there.
But no, like he's talking about selling Justin Herbert. I wouldn't be doing that. I would be more looking on the other side. If you're in a position where you don't have Justin Herbert and you can get him, I would look to do that. His touchdown percentage has gone down to 3.9% this year, but the completion percentage is very similar. The yards per game is similar. He hasn't had weapons. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have both struggled with injuries. So I really think, Justin Herbert is elite and we know it. Like, this is an opportunity. Elite quarterbacks in Superflex are not viable. They're not available. This is now an opportunity where he's available. So, in other situations, I would look to buy Justin Herbert.
My advice here would actually be not looking at the top of your quarterback depth. I'd be looking at Taylor Heineke and Sam Ehlinger as assets that need to be moved within the next couple of weeks.
You say that they're assets. I don't know if that's true. I think that's generous to call them assets.
Well, so there's Tyler's opinion on that. So that means you need to move them even sooner.
Yeah.
While they still have.
No, I was very feisty on my stream earlier. You should have heard when I started talking about the Packers.
Oh no, I'm sure we'll get there.
Oh, we will.
Sure.
Traded Hollywood and Dobbins for Ramondre Stevenson in a second. Win or lose. Let's see. I'd rather have Hollywood over Ramondre, I guess, barely. Dobbins versus a second. Dobbins is big failure. And, I don't want that. It causes an infestation of failure. But
I want the Hollywood side.
Fine, sure, whatever.
And then move Dobbins for a second.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Thank you, Ray. Henry says, smash that like button. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Henry's a legend.
Absolutely. Matthew, 10 teams start one running back. Ayuk and Pierce. I'm assuming Damian for Michael Pittman. And is Foreman for Gibson a good trade? We'll start with.
I'll take Pittman and I'll take Gibson.
I agree.
Pittman's a good buy low, by the way. But nothing wrong with him.
He was the player that I expected him to be with Sam Ehlinger. I thought he was just going to get all the targets, and he basically got all the targets.
If they don't take that touchdown on the running play away, we're not talking about Pittman. We're not complaining. But they did, so we're complaining. That's how it is. Fantasy managers are fickle.
Oh, this is a Cal one. I'm sure Cal's paying attention to the World Series. I'm not.
I just want to thank Ryan for going an extra hour and a half with me earlier today. That was nice of him.
Go Phillies, 3-0. 4-0. They're sweeping. And Pennsylvania will burn.
Unless it's the Yankees, I don't really care about baseball.
I'm a Pirates fan, so what do I know? Gavin Ferguson, half PPR. Would you trade Christian Kirk for Calvin Ridley? What, if anything, would you add to either side?
No, I would not trade Christian Kirk for Calvin Ridley. I'd rather have Kirk. Paying Kirk $21 million. Like, Calvin Ridley was one of the worst wide receivers in the league before he went out last year. He was terrible. Terrible. A lot of people don't remember that, but he was awful. Awful. I mean, he was hurting the team on the field. He was hurting your fantasy team. He was absolutely horrible. So it's not a guarantee that and he wasn't hurt. Like, it's not a guarantee that he's just going to come back and be good. That's not a given. So for me, he's more of like a lottery ticket. So yeah, it's Kirk by a lot.
I agree. I would need at least a high second.
This does hurt Kirk, though. I mean,
well, hold on a second. What are we doing with Christian Kirk?
He's probably still worth more to me than he is to your average dynasty manager. But
what's funny is that everybody thinks that Calvin Ridley's value has gone up dramatically, and yet he still can't play.
No,
like nothing
it has
changed.
That's not true
for this season.
Not true. What's changed is that a team was willing to pay for him under the assumption that he was going to play, which makes it a lot more likely that he's actually going to play, that he's actually going to come back. Yes, but that was not a given. It was he might be reinstated. A team just gave up something significant to acquire him. So they're thinking that he's going to be reinstated. So I think that that's why his value has increased. I said this earlier. It's not that the Jaguars are the best destination or this or it's great. I'm so happy for that. It's that a team invested in him and also has removed him from Atlanta where he was not happy, clearly. So I think that just the fact that a team traded for him raises his value because it reduces the odds that he just never comes back and never plays football again. That's why it increased his value, not because of the landing spot, not because I'm so excited that he's going to play with Trevor Lawrence or anything, but just that the floor of 0 seems to be removed. That's all.
It's now 1.
I mean, the floor is now like wide receiver 40 over a full season. What Zay Jones is now. What Zay Jones is now is the floor.
So with Christian Kirk, what are you doing with him?
Nothing. I mean, he is like a solid hold. What are you supposed to do with him? If you're not a contender, if you're like, what is it? What are we through? If you're like 1-7 and you have Christian Kirk, I would probably sell him.
I'd be trying.
His value's not going to go up when
Calvin Ridley. I'd be trying to sell him whenever the earliest is that I can.
Yeah.
I think this just shows that he's not an NFL wide receiver 1. I mean, we've seen that.
No one ever thought that
for a few weeks. We did at the beginning of the year for the first.
I never said that.
But it's just like my fear is that the Jaguars aren't stopping. They are going to draft somebody.
I said that earlier today.
The NFL draft.
I agree with you.
And I'm scared that Christian Kirk is going to get relegated back to where he was in Arizona, except it's just going to be worse because Trevor Lawrence isn't as good as Kyler Murray. That offense isn't as pass happy as it was in Arizona. And he's just going to be spiky. You know,
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been bad. But he has at least delivered more volume this year.
Yeah. I just don't know if that's good or not. And then more volume whenever you add in Calvin Ridley and potentially day 1, day 2 rookie with Christian Kirk, you know, those options are better for Trevor
No
Lawrence to throw to than
guarantee
Marvin
that
Jones and
they're
Zay
going.
Jones.
There's no guarantee that they're going to add a day 1 or day 2 rookie. I mean, they could.
I don't know. I feel like they're looking at what Miami did for Tua, and they're looking at what Cincy did for Joe Burrow, and they're saying, we got to do the same thing for our young quarterback.
I hear you, but I think there are a lot of problems on that team.
I think
there
so
are a
too,
lot of problems on that team. I mean, the offensive line is still no good. The defense is all bad. I just think that Zay Jones is also under contract and it's large.
Mhm.
So if they went wide receiver in round 1, they'd have one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in the league.
Yeah. I just think that the situation's really fluid, and I don't think we can just assume that Christian Kirk is fine.
Christian Kirk is going to already have the highest value he's ever going to have, and it's only going to go down now.
Yeah, it's only going to go down from here. So we got a couple other ones in here. We might as well just hit on them. So Cuddy Forever and Ed are asking the same thing. Basically, what are we doing with trade deadline stuff? Is there anything that you really want to touch on with TJ Hawkinson, with Chase Claypool?
Well, I mean, I talked about it all earlier for an hour and a half. But
I have YouTube Shorts up on this on this channel as well too. They all just posted. So
yeah. Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, I got Shorts. I stole your idea.
No, I'm going to steal your idea because I haven't done them yet, but I still can. I'm going to steal your idea.
Go.
How about that?
I just steal. You're the Shorts guy. You've always been doing Shorts for stuff, so I just stole your idea.
I haven't. I stole that idea from you.
Well, do it.
Also, your cup makes me think of my old co-host. Yeah, CJ, Kid Flash.
Yeah, he's Kid Flash.
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him in years. If you're watching, CJ, I still miss you. But anyway.
So let's focus. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of questions and stuff like that. But do you have one specific take that you're really in on from what happened today?
Yeah, I mean, Pat Freiermuth gained a lot of value.
As did I think Pickens gained consistency.
A little bit. Pat Freiermuth, I think, is going to be the one who actually gains the most value, though.
I love to hear it. Love it. Penn State.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I
don't know. I mean, I think it was almost more interesting who wasn't moved than who was.
Right. Or were you surprised by TJ Hawkinson? Do you have anything?
Well, I don't think people saw that coming.
No. I mean, nobody saw it coming.
It doesn't make sense. I think the interesting thing with TJ Hawkinson is, do you think it's a downgrade or an upgrade? Because I think it's a downgrade.
I think it's lateral.
I think it's a downgrade. I think it's actually a very clear downgrade. I don't know why people think it's an upgrade.
I don't think it's an upgrade at all. I agree with you. I think at best it's a side lateral move. And I am scared that it's a downgrade. I'm trying to be a little bit more optimistic, and I'm hoping that it's a side grade, because Irv Smith, like, his raw target numbers were basically what TJ Hawkinson was already getting with the Lions. So, I mean, you can argue if the targets are better from Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff or whatnot, or because the offense and the Vikings is better, but like, Detroit didn't have an alpha. Minnesota has an alpha. So, when push comes to shove, that ball's going to Justin Jefferson, not TJ Hawkinson.
That's why I say it's a downgrade.
Right. Which I guess you can say, like, Amon-Ra was starting to become that. But, like, there was still the possibility that...
No. In no universe was Amon-Ra starting to become Justin Jefferson.
No. I'm just saying he was starting to become the alpha for the team. He was starting to become the guy that Goff was looking to.
Yeah, that's like saying that, I don't even know. That's equivalent to saying that, like, what's a good example of what that is?
I don't know. You're the one trying.
That's like saying that, like, DJ Moore is the alpha, and that's so comparable to, like, Devontae Adams.
That's not what I'm just saying, that he was becoming
That's a similar comparison to the relationship between Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson.
Well, DJ Moore is an alpha, but yeah, right. No, I'm with you. I think
Justin Jefferson is a much bigger target share,
bigger
piece.
Alpha.
And Adam Thielen is better than anything that the Lions have.
I agree. Yeah.
And KJ Osborne is honestly, I think, is actually half decent, but just isn't doing much because he's being held back by two better players.
Yep.
KJ Osborne, I think, is actually pretty good. I think KJ Osborne is, maybe like, he's not great, but he's like, Patrick. Yeah, that's a good comp. Tim Patrick level of talent. Someone who could be a wide receiver 2 on a lot of teams, but just is the wide receiver 3 on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's not going to help. Yeah, I'm not really excited. I also think that TJ Hawkinson could be being brought in to play a little bit of a George Kittle role, which we don't like for fantasy. TJ Hawkinson's a great blocker. Irv Smith is not. Irv Smith is a terrible blocker. Not terrible, but not his area of expertise. Whereas TJ Hawkinson is huge. Great blocker. So could help Dalvin Cook. I heard a lot of people say that. I heard could help Dalvin Cook. Could help the running game move.
With blocking.
The running game the offensive line has been a little sketchy. Dalvin Cook has not had his best year in some respects. But they're 6-1, so they must be doing something right. But I feel like it's been a lot through the passing game. I feel like this could help the running game move. Because TJ Hawkinson is an infinite upgrade over Irv Smith as a blocker.
Yes.
And TJ Hawkinson can play every down, not Irv Smith 60%. TJ Hawkinson can play 90% of snaps, no problem.
Did you learn anything today?
Did I learn anything? I learned that the Packers organization is completely incompetent. They're incompetent, and I learned that they epitomize and represent failure. They represent failure. They've been a failure for years. And I warned everyone that this year they didn't come in prepared. They were not prepared for this season. Aaron Rodgers just said he'll make everything go away. They weren't prepared. They were not prepared because the offense had no depth. There was no depth. Then they didn't prepare with any good talent around Aaron Rodgers, so they weren't prepared. Then they came into this week against the Bills. They were not prepared for that game. They didn't look prepared. The offense, once it got off the scripted plays, it didn't look so good. Then when they played against the Jets, they were unprepared for that one. The head coach did not have them prepared to stop the running game. Against the Commanders, once again, unprepared to take advantage of the weak Commanders defense. They were not prepared for that. When they played against the Giants, again, completely unprepared for that game. So they have been unprepared, led by Aaron Rodgers and Matt Failure at head coach, totally unprepared for all of these games. And now they're 3-5, and they didn't acquire anything to help solve the problem. So they didn't solve anything. So since they didn't solve the problem and they've been completely unprepared, why would anything improve moving forward? Aaron Rodgers is going to retire at the end of the year because he's tired of all of this nonsense. And then they'll be stuck with Jordan Love. And next year, how funny, all of the cap hits that they've kicked down the can that they've kicked down the road for the last 6 years all seem to be hitting in 2023. How convenient for them. So it won't go so well. So they're in deep shit. So that's what I learned today, is that the Packers organization is a joke.
I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I learned this today or if this was yesterday, but I learned a new way in Premiere to edit notes on players coming in. I'm sure you saw it in a video, but I think it looks a lot cleaner than the way I was doing it before.
DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper apologies. Well, Amari Cooper is not really better. He's just, he's essentially duplicating his 2019 and 2020, more or less. A little bit more in some ways, a little bit less in others. And that's just because he's healthy this year. He's doing better than I thought he would with Jacoby Brissett, though. DeAndre Hopkins, I will say, looks very good. Very good.
I know. That's the one for Cal as well, too, I think.
Yeah.
I had DeAndre Hopkins on a lot of teams. I was waiting for this.
DeAndre Hopkins, I have ranked for this week at wide receiver 4.
Man, that might be too low.
He's playing in Seattle at home. I have him at 4.
That might be too low, buddy.
I have Hill, Diggs, and Jefferson.
Oh, no.
I have him above Cup.
He is this year's Cooper Cup. If he's gonna have 10 receptions a game.
Who would you rather have in Dynasty, DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams?
Oh no.
That's where we are, right?
Is Hopkins a year older?
He's like 6 months older. Hopkins
Okay.
is June 92 and Adams is December 92.
Okay. Holy moly.
Isn't it crazy that that's where we are? That's the question on people's minds.
I'm curious to see how that goes. I don't know if I can answer that right now, but I want to give it a couple more weeks.
I know, but DeAndre Hopkins, the gap is
Boy.
not very large.
No, I don't think so.
I also think
think
it's
you're right.
time for Devontae Adams to start moving down the rankings
Mm-hmm.
because he just, hasn't been it.
Robert, 12-team Superflex, start 10. Owns 623 first. Was sent Herbert and a second for Tua, Waddle, and Pollard. Rest of his team.
Yeah. Let's see. So we're going to trade Herbert for, it's a reasonable offer. You're getting a good quarterback. You're getting a top 5 wide receiver. Pollard is worth more than a second. Very reasonable. I think I'll have to take it. I'll take the Tua side.
Hey, that was the side I was going to take.
Yeah.
I think that's his side that he
So
has
then
right now.
not doing the trade then in that case. Okay.
Tua side. Nice.
Yeah, Tua side.
Ed would rather have AJ Brown and Lamb over Waddle, but it's splitting hairs. They're all on the same tier. Whichever one you get cheaper, honestly, at this point. Robert also says could use a running back currently has ETN, Zeke, and Najee. 2 offers on the table. Tony for James Conner or Gabe Davis for Fournette.
I want the wide receiver both times.
I could be convinced on the Fournette one, but I'm assuming that you're not really.
Why do you want Fournette? Fournette looks cooked. Totally cooked.
Could you do Tony for Fournette?
I guess I'd rather have Fournette then, but that could look silly in a week. If Tony comes out and gets a big role, he'll be worth more than Fournette.
Man.
Tony has upside.
Yeah, I know he does. I know he has upside for sure. Fournette is still scoring. Even though it's ugly, he's still scoring. But the smart move is probably the wide receivers on both sides. Listen to Tyler. Matthew, 10-team, half PPR Superflex, rebuilding, has 323 firsts, which he believes is the 101, 104, 109. Looking for one more young core player to build for next year. And I'm assuming this is his team. He's got Herbert, Russ, Walker, Algier, J-Rob, Pittman, Davis, Judy.
This is a vague question, but
you need another wide receiver.
Yeah, but why don't we see how the draft is going to go? I'm not really rushing. If we're building for next year, why am I acquiring a player now? I have a long time.
Yep.
Players get hurt, picks don't.
I like it. Yeah, you could easily. You could add Bijan and maybe
it's
a
not
quarterback.
Not even that. The pick will be worth the most when it's on the clock.
That too. Dustin, evening, gents. What is the sentiment on Bateman right now? Buying, holding, selling. Would trade away Bateman for Elijah Moore in a second be a good pivot?
Yes.
I totally agree with that. I would love.
I'd rather have Elijah Moore than Bateman. I don't want Bateman.
Bateman's been a sell for about 3 months now.
Well, I tried to
now catching on.
I guess not you. I don't know. I don't think any of us like Rashad Bateman.
I did a whole segment on a video on why Rashad Bateman was going to lose value all season, and nobody believed me.
Well, Rashad Bateman, I feel like now is in the category of failure. That's the problem. He's in the category of failure. So every time there's always a new injury. Now it's a new problem. Now the foot is a problem. And then when he plays, he's unusable. So if he's unusable when he plays and now there's a new injury, it seems like they said he would be back right away, right? They said he would be back. He said he was healthy. And then, now it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to take a long time. That sounds like J.K. Dobbins. So it sounds like there's a lot of failure going on there. So I don't want more failure. So I think he's going to have to go. I don't really want him.
Take Elijah Moore in a second. Love that pivot. Replace Elijah Moore with literally any other wide receiver in that range, and I'll still take it.
I feel bad for Elijah Moore, man.
I do too. He should have been traded, dude.
Denzel Mims is still there, though.
Denzel Mims is running more routes and seeing more snaps than Elijah Moore.
So. That's sad.
Oh my gosh. Whether Bijan or an ascending QB, the 101 is more valuable than all but just a handful of QBs. Chase and Jonathan
I mean,
No,
Denzel Mims
Justin
had more
Jefferson
receiving
correct.
yards last week than Elijah Moore has had in any game all season.
Oh no. Don't do that to me. It brings great sadness. Where does Bijan slide in for you overall?
Among what?
Where just in Superflex overall?
First round.
Are you taking Burrow over him?
No.
Mm.
That high, yes.
So that means Kyler as well. But the line would be drawn at Lamar and Herbert.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Bijan will come in similarly valued, a little bit lower, I would say, than Jefferson and Chase. But
no other wide receivers?
No, definitely not.
And no running backs and tight ends for sure.
No, definitely not.
Sorry, Kyle Pitts. 16-team half PPR traded Najee and Allen Robinson and a late first for CeeDee Lamb and a second-round pick. Whew.
It's fine. It's fine if the first is really late. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I love it. I'd probably take Lamb over the entire side.
I really like, my favorite part about this trade is that you traded away Trent Richardson. Oh, sorry, Najee Harris. I just want to do that joke for you. I did it earlier. A lot of people saw it, but I want to do that for you as a Steelers fan.
I hated the pick anyway. You can go back and watch I have a picture on my on Twitter. It's out there somewhere in the ether of my.
I think I left Ryan dead when I did that joke earlier.
I did not like the pick.
Trent Richardson really is a value these days, though. Underappreciated.
CeeDee Lamb and Debo for 2 early 23 first, a 23 second, and a 24 first.
Oh, that's a little expensive. I mean, if those firsts are going to be really early, I'll take the picks.
I will take a picks as well.
Yeah.
3 first and a second for all that.
Debo is not going to work. He's losing value.
Yeah, if Christian McCaffrey is going to do what he did.
Well, I had people tell me, they were very, very smart. They told me, well, it doesn't matter if Deebo Samuel doesn't play the Deebo Samuel role, because when he wasn't playing the Deebo Samuel role, he was still a wide receiver 1. And those people are right. Except what those people forget is that during that period of time, Brandon Ayuk was in the doghouse and not participating in anything. And George Kittle was injured for a lot of that time. So now that everyone's healthy, that's going to be a problem.
Is it the Amon-Ra effect?
Potentially. But Debo basically had 2 halves of a wide receiver 1 season last year, and now both of those paths are gone. So
yeah, it's dicey. I still think he's a wide receiver 1, but it's dicey.
He's not. In Dynasty,
like a fantasy wide receiver 1. But it's dicey.
I don't think so.
It's dicey.
Not for me. Not now that he's injured. Already a new problem. And now, no, I'm not a fantasy wide receiver 1 right now. I didn't rank him as a wide receiver 1 last week. Well, I didn't have him ranked there when he was going to play. I had him at wide receiver 16 before he was ruled out. Even before there was any injury concern. So, yeah, no, not a wide receiver 1 for me.
Who are you disappointed not to see moved? Elijah Moore's the obvious one.
Is the one that I actually care about. Brandon Cooks, I think I'm a little bit disappointed, but Brandon Cooks seems very annoyed. I don't know if he's going to sit out.
Poor dude's been traded to half the league and has had no decision. To be traded. Yeah.
You think Brandon Cooks is going to sit out? I mean, you think he's going to cause disruption? I mean, you think he's going to play on Thursday? The game is in 2 days.
I don't think he practiced today.
Well, he didn't practice. He was listed as doesn't feel like practicing today. Not really, but wouldn't it be nice if they listed him?
That's actually the real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he suits up this week. I could see him
taking the week off
and taking some vacation time.
Oh yeah. To elaborate on these things, I think that Brandon Cooks, it would cost them $43 million to cut him. He's not going to reach a settlement with them. So Brandon Cooks is going to stay there. It would cost them more to release Brandon Cooks than it would to pay it. So there's no resolution to the Brandon Cooks thing. He's going to be there for the rest of the year. And then the offseason, I think they'll move. Elijah Moore has no choice but to show back up.
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's going to be. I think Elijah Moore and Brandon Cooks are going to be quiet quitting for the rest of the year.
Probably.
Pretty much.
They're going to try and take a
It's
page
going to be
out of
hard
Allen
to trust
Robinson.
either one of them. Brandon Cooks this week, I have at wide receiver 30. I really do not want to start him if he plays. I want to see if he's quiet quitting. But there's 6, and that's with 6 teams on bye. I have him at wide receiver 30. So I don't want any part of him.
I wish Antonio Gibson got moved.
That was never going to happen.
I know, but I just wish.
That was never going to
happen. Or DJ Moore to the Chiefs.
That was also never going to happen.
I know, but Tyler, I just want to wish things.
Okay, but realistic things. The other 2 situations, Kareem Hunt and Cam Akers, they're very different. Kareem Hunt was more of a trade request. It would be nice if he's going to come back. He's going to play the rest of the year without incident, I would expect. And then he'll walk in the offseason and he'll sign as a starter somewhere. Cam Akers is different. Cam Akers, I think, was I'm not playing here anymore. The team is, we don't want you here anymore. They tried to trade him. They could not. I think that the Rams and Cam Akers will find an agreement. They'll find an agreement where Cam Akers pays them back some small amount of the guaranteed money he's owed, and the team agrees to release him based on that. But I think Cam Akers has played his last down for the Rams. I don't see him coming back. The reports today were that, the Rams and Cam Akers remain on good terms, but they both sides agree that it would be in both parties' interests to not have Cam Akers play anymore.
Didn't he tweet out? Somebody asked him when he's coming back, and he said, "I'd be playing if it was up to me," or something like that. I think I saw that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the Rams don't want Cam Akers to play for them. I don't believe him. I think he doesn't want to play for the Rams. They don't want him to play. I don't think they want both sides. It's not like the Jets and Elijah Moore. The Jets and Elijah Moore. The Jets would like Elijah Moore to play for them. Elijah Moore doesn't want to be there. And Cam Akers is both sides want this relationship to be over. But I don't think anyone wanted to trade for Cam Akers.
We kind of answered this a little bit. Pickens or Deontay get a bump?
I would say in Dynasty, actually the way the rankings work, Deontay moved up more, but that's because Deontay's older. So he needs the production value matters more to him than Pickens, who's a lot younger. So since Deontay is now actually going to be more usable for the rest of the year, he moved up a little bit more. He was really starting to plummet.
Just touchdowns.
No, I mean, the volume hasn't been there either. Not like it was. Not like it was.
Yeah, I mean, people didn't listen to me when I said Big Ben might have been the most stable thing for this organization.
No, it's not that. It's that the volume's actually been there overall, but it's been more split. Now you're taking out one of the parts where it was split. It's going to come back.
Yeah. I still like Deontay.
There's something to look at with Deontay Johnson, that he's always inefficient, never has a lot of yards per target, never runs deep downfield, never has a high catch percentage.
Yeah, he's just Jarvis Landry.
He's always open, but it's weird that all of his metrics say he's not very good. Other than the fact that other than his reception perception, that one says he's very good. Everything else says he's terrible. Very weird. He's a very weird player. Always open, but remarkably inefficient. It's very hard to square that up for me.
Matt Canada. There, I squared it up for you.
I mean, that's fair. And he should be fired.
Order 66, 12 team Superflex PPR, 1 tight end premium. Start 10. Walker and Curtis Samuel or J.K. Dobbins, and a mid to late 23 first.
Walker.
Yeah.
Walker. I mean, J.K. Dobbins doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and hope that the first gets later and later. Josh, is Dearness Johnson now droppable? No.
I mean, yes, to a degree. Who are you dropping him for? Who are you dropping him for? That's the question. Like, when these types of questions are always like, the answer is either going to be yes, no, or a lot of the time it's going to be who are you dropping him for?
Yes.
This is a who are you dropping him for answer.
Trying to get Devonta Smith for my rebuild and interested on a price check here. He's underperforming, and I'd like to capitalize despite the owners wanting to keep the young talent mentality. Is he underperforming?
Is he underperforming? I mean, I guess he is. I don't know.
To standards, I guess.
I think
but
he's
I think
overperforming what I expected.
he's also overperforming what I expected as well.
So
What would you
I
pay for Devonta Smith in a rebuild?
I don't know.
A 24.
I think it's
first?
this year. No, I'm not paying that. I just think that this year has kind of warped everything because nobody wants to pay picks for anything.
Yeah.
Have you? This is a good question to ask you. Have you noticed? Maybe it's just me, but have you noticed that there have been fewer trades this year in dynasty leagues, or is that just me? Is that just my perception that I felt that way? But I have felt that way. I felt that there have been fewer trades.
No, I feel like that's definitely accurate from my side as well.
Okay. Okay.
The only league I think that I'm in where I feel like the trades have been still coming is an RSO league that's like salary cap and whatnot. It
So
plays
I've
much more
felt
redrafty.
that people made, since the 2023 class was so hyped, that people made a decision to either blow up their
Wait it out.
teams or go for it earlier than usual. So you haven't had teams in week 5 or 6 being like, I'm out of it, I'm selling now because it's too late. All of the rebuilding assets. I feel like the assets are all split. All the rebuilding assets are already with the rebuilding teams. I have a weird team in Trade Addicts 8, but I can't do anything about it. A weird team that's doing, it's a team that has a lot of picks and all younger players, and it's winning some games, but I can't do anything because all of the contending assets are already with the other contending teams. So I've just been sitting there. I'm also a cheapskate. So
2 seconds for Matthew. Are we good on that?
yeah, I pay that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Josh, Dak or 223 first. Oh, Davis Mills and Malik Willis. That
If
I don't
it's
know why my
14
brain
team super
messed that
flex,
up.
I'll take Dak still.
If it's one early, one late, does that matter?
No.
Both early.
Then are the picks.
Okay. We did this one. Real value in general source.
That depends on who you ask.
Some people really like Devonta Smith.
I was gonna say, I think my ranking is few people actually have him ranked there. I think most people are either lower or higher.
Which QBs are worth an early 23 first?
Just for the record, I have Devonta Smith at Dynasty wide receiver 21.
I feel like that's
probably on
a
the
good
higher
price
side
for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's closer to 25.
Okay. So I'm higher than Addison, I guess.
Which QBs are worth an early 23 first?
I mean, Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Hurts, Burrow, Kyler,
Dak,
Watson.
break.
Probably, yeah. Tua's worth a pretty early first. Even Lawrence is still worth.
Yeah, there becomes a line. Like, would you pay the 102 for either one of them?
For
Tua or Lawrence?
I would lean no.
What about the 104?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yes, for either.
So I feel like at 102, you getting Young or Stroud, whoever ends up being.
If I get to, I think it's an advantage of getting to choose.
Right.
If I don't have to commit, I don't have to rely on there being more than one quarterback. If I just have to say that there's one quarterback that I like, then I'm willing to bet that there's going to be one that I like. But if I'm going down,
one everybody likes, and you just get Bijan.
That's not going to happen.
It'll happen in like 5% of leagues out there, but those people are going to be awesome.
Bijan, yeah. I think Bijan is going to enter, as one of the high. I think Bijan might enter the league as the highest valued entering asset of all time.
Probably. Saquon's the only competition, I think. Zeke was up there, but yeah.
Saquon, yeah. In one QB, Saquon entered at like 6 or 7. Overall, I think Bijan's going to enter at 3. So I think he'll be higher.
Lufty, 10-team, 1 QB, start 9, no tight end premium. Send Darren Waller and Amari, get Mark Andrews. Yes.
Andrews, easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
Done.
Darren Waller is
nothing.
Dead to me. Yeah, I don't want him. It's just been so many years. He can't stay healthy. He's already 30.
I'm surprised somebody even wants him for this kind of.
The Raiders are a disaster. And Josh McDaniels was meeting with the ownership.
It's not good. I have one Darren Waller share, and I really wish I didn't. I offered my it's in my home Dynasty league, and I said to my friend, I said, because he said that he's starting to compete, so he's starting to sell picks. I said, do you want Darren Waller because he doesn't have a tight end? His best tight end was like Jared.
But if he
Cook.
has Darren Waller, then he still doesn't have a tight end.
Right. But I said, do you want Darren Waller? Are you interested? And he goes, I'll give you like a fourth, I guess. And I was like, okay. So that's the casual sentiment on Darren Waller. Cade Smith, 12-team PPR. My wide receivers are Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, DK Metcalf, and Devonta Smith. Running backs are CMC, Hunt, both on a bye this week, forcing me to play Rashad White and Alexander Madison. Would you trade Mike Evans for Kenneth Walker and Hollywood Brown?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, buddy.
I'd rather have Walker over Evans alone. I'm confused by this question. I have Ken Walker this week ranked at running back 4 against Arizona. I mean, I think that's a great matchup. Why not have him at running back 4? Evans not so high. I have him at, I guess wide receiver 11 is pretty good, but yeah, Walker for sure.
Walker. I'm interested on your take on this. So Dustin asked, my waiver wire video today included JaMychal Hasty and maybe the speculative add on Snoop Connor as the backups to Travis Etienne now. What fab percentage would you drop on Hasty?
5%. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, I knew you were going to be low.
Nothing. Yeah, he's irrelevant.
I said I would go up to 20%.
Well, he sucks. So why would I want him?
Well, Travis Etienne tore his ACL.
There are a lot of players I could say that about. There are a lot of running backs.
Well, they should all be rostered.
I agree with you, but he's low on the list because he sucks. I'd much rather have Ronnie Rivers.
Oh, gross.
We know JaMychal Hasty is bad. We have years of JaMychal Hasty being bad. Years and years. Bad every year. We don't know anything about Ronnie Rivers. We don't know anything about him. He just appeared out of nowhere last week. I'd much rather have something I don't know anything about.
And averaged 3 yards a touch.
I don't care. It was one game. I'd rather have the player I've only have one game that wasn't so good over 4 years of failure.
I'm rostering Hasty.
I'd rather have Connor over Hasty, by the way, just in case.
I did say
less
failure percentage on Snoop Connor. I don't think we talked the Claypool side. We talked Pittsburgh, but anything from Claypool standpoint, Bear standpoint?
Claypool? Why is this a good thing? Why is this good? Why is this stock up exactly?
He's now the guy.
No, he isn't.
Well, there you go.
He isn't. He's not the guy at all. Why is this a good thing? He's going to the lowest volume passing offense in the league, which couldn't support one wide receiver before. Relegated a relatively talented young tight end in Cole Kmet to nothing. Why is this good? What is good about this? And by the way, a team that has $100 million in cap space and multiple extra draft picks in the future.
It's good for Justin Fields.
Who's how? He barely matters. And Justin Fields doesn't even throw the ball. So why is it? It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference.
It'll be nice for the 12 times that he's throwing the ball that he's targeting Chase Claypool and not targeting Dante Pettis.
It's not going to make any difference. The only thing this is terrible for Chase Claypool. I don't know why people think this is a good thing. The Bears are one of the teams most likely to add a significant wide receiver in the offseason. They have the cap space. They have the draft capital to do it.
They don't.
Why is this good? Why is this good for Chase Claypool? I don't understand.
Nope, I like it. As a Steelers fan, we got an extra first-round pick. We're all good.
It's crazy that the Bears paid that much for Chase Claypool.
It is going to be a higher draft pick.
I warned people. I said that Ryan Poles, Bears' new general manager, they thought that they would replace one Ryan P with another Ryan P. Ryan Pace with Ryan Poles. They thought that represented a change. They thought that would be change. It's not change. All they did is replace they had an incompetent Ryan and a Matt as their incompetent Ryan and incompetent Matt at general manager and head coach. And now they have another incompetent Ryan and incompetent Matt at general manager and head coach. So they actually haven't changed anything. The problem is the Hallis family are completely incompetent in the ownership suite, and they continue to sign off and authorize ridiculous moves like this one, where you actually pay more for Chase Claypool than he cost in original draft capital, despite the fact that he's mostly been a failure over 3 years. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Totally incompetent organization. This makes no sense. I don't understand it at all. Sorry. This is the same organization that wasted a draft pick on Velus Jones,
who Chase Claypool is younger than.
And so is N'Keal Harry, who actually they seem to like better. They seem to like N'Keal Harry better, who they traded a 7th-round pick for, than Velus Jones. Disgraceful.
I love
They're
it.
one of the worst organizations in the league, much worse than the Packers. The Packers have at least won something in my lifetime.
Nick, so guy wants to buy Nyheim Hines. Good for him. Has only a 23 fourth, no 24 picks. What would you think of selling Hines for Ronnie Rivers in a 25 second? I'd take the pick.
I would do that. Why is this a good thing for Nyheim Hines? Can someone explain that one to me?
I don't get that one either.
I don't get that one at all. I saw that one on Twitter, and I don't get it, and I didn't get it before. I don't get it now. Why is this good? He's going to the team that dumps off to running backs, not at all, and where he's sharing that role with a 2nd-round rookie who actually looked really good last week, with a running back who, is fine in the receiving game, and Devin Singletary is a starter. Why is this good? Why? This is also a team that has not 1, but 2 slot receivers. 2 in Isaiah McKenzie and Khalil Shakir. 2 of them.
And Jamison Crowder.
No, he doesn't, because he broke his foot, an ankle. He's out for the season. So you don't have him. But you have 2 receivers they can use in that role, who are both better than Nyheim Hines at being a wide receiver. So why is this good? Can someone please explain that to me? I don't understand. I actually moved Nyheim Hines down 2 rounds in my Dynasty rankings after this trade. I don't get it.
It's good for Jonathan Taylor.
Is it?
And Deion Jackson.
It's not bad. Yeah, Deion Jackson is definitely, if he's somehow on your Dynasty waivers, which he should not be.
Jeez.
Spend everything. I would spend everything. But yeah, this is not good for Nyheim Hines. I don't get that take. I disagree. I think it's bad.
Keenan Allen, Rondale Moore in a 23 first, or Jamar Chase? Okay.
Jamar Chase.
Sorry, I shouldn't. This is Jamar Chase. Easy.
Yeah.
10 team Superflex PPR traded Mariota and Jacoby Myers for Christian Kirk in a 24 second before the Calvin Ridley. I keep wanting to say Riley Ridley. Still a good trade.
Well, I mean, Riley Ridley, let's not forget who picked the Riley Ridley in the 4th round of the 2019 NFL draft, who wasted another pick on Riley Ridley because they were lazy and just saw the name Ridley and picked him. I wonder what organization was responsible for that, but these are minor details that don't matter.
Anthony Miller?
Right, yeah, this is the same one that picked him and Velus Jones. Again, irrelevant. We don't care about those things. They're not worth talking about. But Christian Kirk. I'm so much meaner when Cal's not here.
I know, I like it.
Cal really keeps me behaving.
Okay, so Nick must have seen my YouTube short.
I don't think this is my video.
I think this is because I believe I said this at the end of the short. I wish I remembered. I recorded this like 4 hours ago, but I stated to trade Christian Kirk before the end of the season and not be caught holding the bag with him whenever Calvin Ridley does come back, whenever potentially they draft a rookie, a highly valued rookie. Would you trade him for Derrick Henry as a strong contender?
Yes.
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 There you go. Attaboy, Nick. That's what we like. Ed agrees. Ray says hello.
Hey.
He had a super chat. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Ray? Thank you again for the super chat.
You guys are great, by the way. I thank the audience on my show, but I want to thank the audience here too. You guys are great. Support me.
Oh, they're fantastic. This is the best chat.
It's the best chat on
fantasy.
YouTube.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey is on bye for Rainbow Six God. Start to please out.
It's a lot of good players on bye.
Sorry.
It's not just Christian McCaffrey.
Saquon is too. So all my CMC Saquon 3 stacks.
That's going to be tough for you this week.
I'll take the L. That's all right. Foreman and Jamal Williams and Eno Benjamin, Khalil Herbert, Cordell Patterson if he returns.
Yeah, so I haven't heard if Cordell Patterson is going to return. I don't know if James Conner is going to return. Foreman's going to start for me no matter what. And then, I mean, it depends on the situation. Right now, I have Conner being out and Patterson not returning. So I have Eno Benjamin the highest of the remainder, but that could change.
If James Conner's in, and your decision is between Jamal Williams and Khalil Herbert, would you play Herbert?
I'd play Jamal Williams.
Interesting.
against incompetent Green Bay. Incompetent Green Bay's run defense. How has it worked playing running backs against Green Bay this year? How did Breece Hall look in that one? How about Saquon Barkley? How did he do?
Fantastic.
You know, I would love to suit up extra running backs against Green Bay. DeAndre Swift, he says he's healthy, but Dan Campbell said he's not healthy. He said he's not healthy. He said that he should get DeAndre Swift less work, and more carries for Jamal Williams. That's what he said. So I actually would like to play Jamal Williams this week. I have him at running back 20.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel like those are some if else's there. If you would like us to revisit if Connor is healthy or not, if Patterson returns or not.
Well, I'd be happy to do that at a later time.
Yes. We drop our start sits videos on Friday, so you can go in on that one.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about that a little bit? Because I don't know too much about that. Tell the people what they can see on those videos.
We break down 4 running backs and wide receivers.
Who's we? Who does like?
Justin,
I've never watched him.
Justin normally does them, but he was on vacation last week, so then I had to do it.
You can't give him a vacation. Come on, I
don't
think
what he
vacation.
Said. He said I'm taking a vacation. Him and the girlfriend.
Oh, I don't have vacation. Even when I'm on vacation, I still do things. No vacation.
But so
the only vacation I want to hear about is vacation targets. Those I'm interested in. I'm interested in vacation targets. That's the only vacation I'm interested in.
So if you don't watch the start videos, check them out. Justin does a pretty good job. I actually did pretty accurately outside of telling everybody to start Wandale last week. But other than that,
you should. I don't know. You should let me do these. No. I'm not doing them.
I told people emphatically to start Deonta Foreman last week, and it was really good. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Peter says word.
Word. Oh, Peter's we just talked about vacation targets.
That is awesome. 45 minutes later, Peter's in here.
What a coincidence.
Foreman in a second or JK? I'll take
Foreman in a second.
I'll take it for the second primarily, but at least you get production out of
J.K. Dobbins has had so much failure that it'll feel so much. You'll feel better eliminating him from your team. He's just such an eyesore to look at on your dynasty roster. It's just so gross that I would rather have just take the second and a little piece and move on.
Okay, we got some Christian McCaffrey options here. So every vertical bar is a split. So would you rather give CMC and get Derek Carr or Courtland Sutton and Kyron Williams, or a late 23 first and AJ Dillon, or Russell Wilson, a late 23 first? Oh, Christian McCaffrey and Russell Wilson, or a late 23 first in Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, so of these, I would accept the first and the third
to give away Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, not the second one. And I would prefer. They're both pretty good. I'd probably just
take
prefer.
The third.
I take the third one and just get out of Russell Wilson while I still can.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'd prefer the third.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps. 12-team PBR, my wide receiver. Yes, Kenneth Walker. We did that one. Gino price check 10 teams super flex. Want to pivot off of him as my QB3 for a QB plus. I don't think he's worth all that much.
Depends on what you can get,
Like if you could, I think he's like a second, if that.
Yeah.
There's only a few teams in your league that want Geno Smith, and they're all contending, but they might already have quarterbacks, so they might not want him. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. Matthew, does he sell Pittman since he's 1-7? He'll be my best wide receiver next year.
I mean, yes, if you can get something.
2 firsts out of here.
Well, that would be nice, but
sure.
I don't think you can get that.
No, I don't think so. I just like giving the advice of here's what I would sell for if you got this offer. I think 1 first doesn't do it for you. So I would not sell for 1 first. I would sell for 2 firsts. If you get some other offer that's kind of in the middle in there, I think it just kind of depends on what the first plus is, what the plus is coming back to you.
That's true. Yeah. Plus what?
If it's another young wide, like I don't want AJ Dillon in a first. That ain't it. Elijah Moore in a first probably ain't it right now. but like,
Oh my God. Wasn't there a time where
That
Elijah
does.
Moore and Pittman were worth similar?
Elijah Moore was probably worth more than Pittman. Probably like 5
How the
months ago.
mighty have fallen, you know?
It's so sad. So keep us up to date, Matthew. If you get a trade offer, just let us know, either here or you can comment in the when the video is done. You can still comment in the video, and Tyler and I will get back to you.
Yeah, mostly Addison, but occasionally
Tyler
me.
sneaks in there.
I do every once in a while.
First year in Dynasty for Ray, 8-man super flex. His quarterbacks are Herbert. That's Kyler. Ooh, abbreviations. Justin Fields, running back Swift, Javonte, Ramondre, wide receivers are Chase, Waddle, London, Wilson. Ooh.
Okay.
5 and 3. What
Okay,
moves would you
so
recommend?
these types of questions, I would say let's stick to specific trades on the show. I do go over this on my Patreon every once in a while in the Discord and in the DM stuff. But yeah, no, this type of thing, we usually don't get into it too much on the show.
I think your team's very solid, even for, I mean, I know that it's an 18, but I think your team's you need to focus on studs.
That's the page. There's the Patreon link, by the way.
8-team league, you always just got to focus on having studs more so
Always,
over
yeah.
depth.
Always. But yeah, I will say, give us some ideas is what I would always say, because it makes it, especially on the show, a collaborative process. If you just have me do it for you, I don't, even on my Patreon, I don't do it for you, but it's easier for me to actually think about it.
Whenever you get depth, package for better.
Always,
assets,
yeah. The
elite
smaller
assets.
the league, the more you need studs.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
So, he just subscribed.
Not a surprise that Addison has good advice.
He just subscribed and he's still learning Dynasty.
Yeah, no, this is a great place to learn about it. Addison does a really, really good job.
Thank you.
I do a good job too, but
yes, you do. And Cal does too when he's on here, and everybody else that's part of the DLF channel.
Oh.
Trogdor made a bunch of trades over the last 3 days in 2 of my 12-team Superflex tank rebuild Dynasty leagues. Can we grade them?
Sure.
Gave Swift, DJ Moore, and Derek Carr for Brees Hollywood in a late first.
Did I approve this? I'll take Brees, I guess.
Yeah, that's a Brees one.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra for Chase. Nice.
Okay. Well, I like that one.
A late second for a first. I like that one too. Gave Swift and Heineke for Waddle. You killed every single one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Appreciate you guys in fantasy football on days like today. Super tough for me personally, but the quality, interesting content gets me through it. Lefty.
It's funny. Today's been actually a really good day for me, but I'm sorry you're going through shit.
Lefty, I'm sorry, man. I'm glad that we can be here to
DM
give
me
you
if if you want to talk about it.
Or me. Sorry for the unanswerable question at the top of the show. You mentioned measuring effective strategy based on building future assets. Sold McLaurin for a 23 first last week.
Yes, that is a good move. I agree. That's a good idea.
That would qualify. Yep. Love that. Should I have 2 trade options? Should I trade DeAndre Hopkins for Nick Chubb or Leonard Fournette?
Feels weird. I mean, Chubb, I don't know. He's ranked higher in Dynasty for me, but it feels wrong. I'd trade him for Chubb, I guess.
I would trade for Chubb. Yeah, I would. Just because I think the value, that's in Dynasty or redraft. I know this doesn't specify. We always just assume Dynasty, but if it is redraft too, I would still do that in redraft.
Redraft, it's almost closer because Hollywood's out right now.
Yeah, but Chubb, like the running backs, in Chubb's range right now.
I know it's so hard to get any running backs.
It's just hard. With that being said, DeAndre Hopkins is averaging 27 points per game over 2 games.
Redraft Josh Palmer and Curtis Samuel for Hollywood Brown. I'm in first place. I'm fine doing that.
Oh, Hollywood.
Because those are, if Hollywood Brown comes back, he could make a difference that those guys are not going to make.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I love that. And if you're in first place, I'm assuming that you have the capability. If those guys are on your bench, you should have the capability to continue winning to be in first place so that when Hollywood returns, championship.
Yeah.
Money. 12th PPR, half tight end premium, start 10, 23 first, late, 23 second, late, and Sam Ellinger for ETN and Deonta Foreman. ETN.
Yeah, ETN easily.
I'll take ETN.
Not even close.
Yes. Team ETN. Let's go. Scuba Steve, tight end premium, early 23 first, and Evan Ingram or Pat Fryermuth and Javonte Williams. I'll take the first.
If it's really that early than the first.
I'll take the first. Gavin, 2 inbox trades on David Montgomery. First gives Monty for Lazard and a second. The other 23 third and Monty and a third for Burks. Would you do either trade?
Let's see. I mean, I might do both of them. Monty's really not worth much.
All right. I think I agree with you. I would do both of them. I would do both trades, but it just comes down to which one would you prefer?
Probably Burks.
Man, I think I'd take the Lazard one.
I still like Burks a lot.
Okay, I'm in. I thought about it more than 5 seconds, and we're in.
Oh, Addison.
Traylon Burks. In a 14-team Superflex, would you send DJ Moore and Brian Robinson for DeAndre Swift as a contending team? Yes, I would.
Is it sad I don't want to?
I would take DeAndre Swift.
I'll take DeAndre Swift, but reluctantly.
I just think that you could trade for a little bit more than this.
DeAndre Swift scares me a lot.
He is kind of scary. And the sentiment in the general population is terrifying.
Very negative, yeah.
It's very bad. Nobody wants him. But I would still take DeAndre Swift. Would you drop Deontay Johnson or Kareem Hunt in his 8-team PPR league? He has to drop to stream a defense and tight end due to bye.
Go back to the players.
Deontay or Kareem Hunt.
Oh.
There's no one better.
There's no one better?
It's an 8-team league, so
I guess
waiver wires could be a little bit richer.
Drop Hunt. Then.
Hunt.
Yeah.
I would drop Hunt.
So the Browns are on they're both on bye now. I'll drop Hunt anyway.
Pick up Jeff Wilson, Rashad White, or Isaiah Pacheco. Is this the same league? Because I'd rather have Hunt than all these guys.
White of these. Well, they're all very similar.
I would take Rashad White.
White, yeah.
I think his upside if Fournette gets hurt is just higher.
I do think he has the most upside if there's an injury.
Right.
Pacheco, Wilson has the second most upside. So I'd go White, Wilson, Pacheco. Pacheco has almost no upside. Even if Clyde gets hurt, it's still not going to be that great.
Do you want to pull that super chat?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Bears go rar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Contending. Got an offer to give Ramondre and 23 second and get Elijah Moore and projected 23 103 to 104 and I went for the first. I'm in a lurch now at running back. Thoughts. Also, I'm sorry for whatever the McCaskey family did to Tyler. They did nothing to me. But
they're doing it to the NFL fan bases across the world.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten to my Frank Reich rant yet. Don't worry. It's bad. This is the first side.
The first side, very easily.
By
a
lot. Yeah. I'd still rather have Elijah Moore over a second, and I'd rather have that pick over Ramondre by a lot.
I get that it might suck that you're giving up a running back who can help you contend right now, but this is how you build out a dynasty and how you get better every year.
Yeah.
By doing this trade. Thank you for the super chat. Peanut butter jelly time. Did Jerry Jones buy the moldy green and yellow cheese tarts?
Oh,
is this a reference to something?
I think he's talking about the Packers.
Cal needs to. Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure, honestly.
I don't know if I should be. Oh, don't Google that.
Oh no, Addison.
No, it's just disgusting pictures of moldy cheese. It's nothing bad. We're not in a blue waffle situation, so it's all good. Okay. Professor Chaos, Burrow, Geno, Dalton, Malik Willis, ETN Swift, blah, 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 blah. Any move out on this roster?
Right, this is I don't even know how to answer this.
All
right, I will leave Addison to answer this while I'll be right back.
And now I can do whatever I want. I'm looking at your I'm looking at your roster here, and basically you need, and you might recognize this, but you need a QB2. So I would be doing whatever I can to try to get towards that QB2, and it might come at the expense of your wide receivers. No, sorry, running backs. I also think that you need wide receivers as well too. So your running backs might have to take a hit here in order to get towards quarterback. So I'd be moving ETN and Swift, and try to see what they might be able to net you, maybe individually for a quarterback, maybe package them both for a really good quarterback, doing something along those kind of lines to get towards another Burrow level asset. Maybe it's Kyler Murray, maybe it's Dak Prescott. Maybe you just go cheaper on a little bit and just go Tua. Like if you can trade ETN for Tua or something like that, Swift for Tua. And then I would turn your attention towards the wide receiver position as well, since you just have basically DK Metcalf and a lot of upside shots, and Elijah Moore is not doing anything. So if you end up trading one running back for a quarterback, trade the other one for a wide receiver, and then see what happens in the draft and see where you can go from there. That'd be my recommendation. What are our thoughts on Rachaad White? I think that he is a fantastic handcuff. I don't think that he has flex appeal yet, like a Tony Pollard or anything like that, or a Kareem Hunt. But I think that of all of the handcuffs, like pure handcuffs, I think he's like top 3 in the league. So he's going to have immense value if Leonard Fournette were to get hurt. Rondo in a second for Hollywood. I'll take Hollywood. Should I drop Darrell Henderson for Pacheco or Jeff Wilson? I would do it for Jeff Wilson. Is this the REM chat? Because all I see are shiny, happy people. This chat is the best of all of YouTube for sure. You guys are one of the biggest reasons why I was so excited to come on here and join this like full time. So you guys are awesome. I did flip Debo for Judy in an early first last week. Love it. Yeah. Tyler and I are of the same thinking that CMC is definitely a hit to Debo's value and usage. Is it too early to ask start sits? Not necessarily. I would start Justin Jefferson this week, and I would.
I got you. The rankings are done.
Start sits are good.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling them that I would start Justin Jefferson this week, and I would probably sit Darius Slayton. So that's where I stand on
Darius Slayton's on a bye, so
I would
it's
sit
easy
him.
to say that
That's
you would
why.
sit.
Exactly.
No, I got start sits. What do you want to know?
Maybe he's down in the chat later on. That's all I asked. You just asked if it's too early to ask start sits. Any trade deadline targets for a team looking to contend next year, and any end of the bench stats?
We're not looking to make those kind of targets. I guess I'm willing to okay. I'm willing to trade into Breece Hall or Javonte Williams, or I'll relax. Don't go selling him for a 2024 third or whatever you wanted to do.
First, Tyler.
What?
24 first.
You know how it is in today's world. It doesn't actually matter. We have. Just say whatever we want. I don't know, man. End of the bench stashes.
JaMychal Hasty.
No. Yeah. There aren't that many, but I don't know, man. Terrace Marshall.
Oh, I picked up Terrace Marshall and Scott Fishbowl.
Terrace Marshall's a good one.
I don't know if he's on a lot of waiver wires now.
He might have been. He was cut at some stage, but he was probably picked up after the Robbie Anderson trade in a lot of places.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel like we didn't answer that super well.
No, we didn't answer super well, but it's also kind of vague. So it's
It's
always
hard.
tougher. Again, I'll always remind the people in the chat and always the more specific the question, the better.
Nathan, I will say that if you subscribe and watch this channel, I do have content plans for like Dynasty trade deadline moves to make. There'll be
Oh,
more
wait. No,
in
I
reference.
do have a good answer for Nathan. I do have a
Go
good
for it.
answer. James Mitchell, the tight end from Detroit, the rookie, the 5th round pick.
I don't even know who that is. There you
Of
go.
course you don't. Because he was irrelevant. He didn't.
I literally looked at the Lions depth chart to see who their tight ends were, and I had never heard of either one of them.
The other one, Brock Wright.
Yeah, that's.
I picked him up and dropped him like 6 times last year.
Yay.
But yes, James Mitchell is a good ad for those interested.
Antonio Gibson and Jacoby Myers or Dak in one quarterback redraft?
Gibson Myers. You can just stream quarterback.
Yeah, he has Geno. Man, I feel like I might take Dak, but I feel like
a low, like wide receiver 24, 25. What Myers is worth more than the quarterback 10, which is what about Dak is. So forgetting even Gibson. So it's Myers.
Jefferson or Christian McCaffrey?
Jefferson.
Does that change in redraft?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't. Jefferson.
I take CMC in redraft.
I trust Jefferson more. I've learned my lesson with this.
Click. I'm competing, probably have the best team in the league. I only have CMC and Barkley as my 2 running backs. Do I trade Pitts to get another win now piece, Kamara, Chubb, etc., or just hold off and ride it out?
You can trade Pitts if you have to. If you have to trade, you can.
I would not be doing it for like Kamara or Aaron Jones.
You better be getting something really good in return. How about that?
Can you trade Pitts for Eckler?
But I'm not going to do that.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
No, I'm not doing that.
It's titillating to the brain.
Addison.
You should have just sold Pitts when I recommended it like 4 months ago.
You know what, Addison? Like, even if you didn't sell him, he's still worth like 90% of what he was worth before. I think you need to relax.
Maybe. Would you pivot or hold Sky Moore? Oh, man. Can you even pivot? What are you even pivoting
pivot to what?
Would you rather have Sky Moore or, let me scroll down the list here, or Wan'Dale Robinson?
That's not a question.
Okay. Sorry. Let me scroll a little farther. Would you rather have Sky Moore or oh boy. Nico Collins.
Sky Moore.
Okay.
Nico Collins is not out for the year.
Tyler Lockett.
Sky Moore.
I'm assuming you'd rather have Tony?
Yes, I would.
And Rondale?
Oh, Rondale. I feel like I have Rondale ranked weird. Rondale's so low in my rankings.
Would you rather have Sky Moore or David Bell?
It's Sky Moore.
Okay.
Rondale, I might have to reevaluate my ranking of Rondale. He seems like he's too low, but I also kind of feel like the second Hollywood Brown gets back, Rondale is going to be completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but he is talented and he's looked good. So it's a tough one. He's one where I'm like, I don't like my ranking of him like either way. You know, I don't like ranking a talented player low, but I also don't see the path.
Would you rather have Sky Moore or Michael Thomas?
Oh, Sky Moore. I don't want Michael.
What about the new Bear duo in Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney?
I'd rather have Sky Moore.
All right.
Maybe
what are your thoughts on Jacoby Myers?
I don't know. He's always going to be underappreciated and undervalued.
Yes, he is.
But
he's very good.
I'm not desperate for him.
This was a yikes. This was like 5 weeks ago. I said I would break my finger to turn Kenneth Walker into Amon-Ra. I still feel like that's not a terrible move in this.
Not terrible.
in
I'd
Dynasty.
rather have Kenneth Walker, but it's not terrible.
All we need is Amon-Ra to come back healthy and start producing again, and this becomes closer.
That's true.
And yeah, so, but yeah, it does suck. We missed out on Kenneth Walker. Eric is in Dynasty leagues with trade deadlines, and Kamish likes the idea of a no-fly zone because more activity isn't always better, and the deadline promotes activity before the deadline.
No, it
Do you have
doesn't.
deadline thoughts?
No trade deadline.
I don't have. I feel like I've never had a deadline thought.
Well, maybe you should.
It is what it is. Play in the league that you like to play in. Don't play in the league that you don't like.
Well, that's always good advice.
Should I trade Leonard Fournette for Jonathan Taylor
Yes.
in redraft?
Yes.
Okay. Me sure. Lamb, London, Willis, or Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gallup, and Davis Mills in redraft. 12-team Superflex redraft. Lamb. Okay. Keeper format, non-PPR. Have to cut Pickett for Garrett Wilson versus Buffalo, or Rondale versus Seattle, or I'll have to start Brian Robinson.
I mean, having to start Brian Robinson is not the end of the world, but I'd rather start Rondale Moore this week.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like I would also cut Pickett to pick up Garrett Wilson anyway.
Me too. This is a
quarterback. Yeah. Well, there's that too. Those 23 QBs could be anybody. It could even be Tua. You know how much we wanted to have a Tua. It's a good thing because it opens up Chase Claypool's trade window.
Only if people are delusional.
There's a lot of that
seems
out
like
there.
people are, because I've heard so much of this is a great thing for him, and it's not. So they can think that, but I don't agree.
Would you trade Mostert and Godwin for Joe Mixon?
No, I wouldn't. I'd rather have Mostert and Godwin. Joe Mixon is so overrated and always has been.
Would you trade Tyler Lockett for Dalton Schultz in a tight end premium?
Yes.
Also needed a tight end.
I'd rather have Dalton Schultz, even not a tight end premium.
And it helps that you're rebuilding. You can move off of the
Schultz is younger. That's funny. That's true. Claypool announced the Pickens pick, and then they traded him away. Don't you love that?
You're going to eat your words on the Bears,
No,
Tyler.
No, I'm not.
How do we think Hollywood's production will look alongside elite wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins?
Unfortunately, not as good as it was before.
I think there's a world where, kind of like you said with Rondale, where like he just gets kicked to the curb, and then DeAndre Hopkins and Rondale Moore account for like 60%. It's like a Tyreek and Jalen Waddle kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like 60% of Kyler's targets.
You saying there's a world that Hollywood gets kicked to the curb?
Rondale. Did I say Hollywood?
Rondale.
Rondale gets kicked to the curb.
Yeah.
And
I think that's
Hollywood and Hopkins are like 60% of.
That's not what I'm predicting,
targets.
to be honest with you. I'm predicting that this looks a little bit more like the Bengals offense in terms of a split, like a Chase Higgins-Boyd split, except it's not
terrible. Yeah.
Except it's not as good. So instead of having like wide receiver 4, wide receiver 10, and wide receiver 35, you're going to have wide receiver 10, wide receiver 20, and wide receiver 45 or 50.
Yeah. DK early 23 first. That's not the 101. And Foreman or Jamar Chase.
DK side.
DK. Just traded Dalton Cook. Wow, that's awesome.
Dalvin Cook, I guess. Or Dalton, Andy Dalton, Cook, and AJ Brown.
For Olave and Jonathan Taylor in a 6-player keeper league. Yeah.
I'll take Olave and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Trade Josh Allen for 2 23 first. One of them is early, a 24 first, and Javonte Williams. Josh Allen, baby.
I'll take Josh Allen, but this is a lot.
That is a lot. That is a hefty haul to pay or reject.
But I'll take Josh Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen is worth more than that.
Wilson offered Devontae Adams for his 23 first, third, and third.
Devontae Adams is not even worth a 23 first on his own.
Go buy DeAndre Hopkins for cheaper. if you can
Yeah,
get him.
Devontae Adams is someone. It's like I see Devontae Adams in my rankings at 36 overall and 1 QB, and I see DeAndre Hopkins at 64, and I'm kind of like, why? What's the difference?
One is cheaper.
Yeah.
Which running back would you rather have, Jeff Wilson or Deion Jackson?
I love how you
Deion.
include high stakes as if my answer is going to change.
Deion.
As if because the league is worth more, that my answer will be different. I love that. It won't be. I don't know. I have Jeff Wilson ranked higher.
Deion's ceiling is higher. Ugh.
No, it isn't. I don't agree with you. I do not agree. I mean, we've seen. I have to disagree. We've seen what Raheem Mostert does in this offense. Raheem Mostert is made of glass.
We saw Deion Jackson put up 30.
One injury. I mean, Jeff Wilson is just a Raheem Mostert clone. One injury, and Jeff Wilson is just what Raheem Mostert is now, which is a high-end RB2. The Colts offense is putrid. Jonathan Taylor has had one good game.
Deion Jackson had one good game.
And that was with Matt Ryan. With Sam Ehlinger, the dump-offs are gone. The ceiling's gone. Even with a Jonathan Taylor injury, Deion Jackson wouldn't be an RB1. I'd rather have Jeff Wilson.
Is it possible you could get both? I'd like to know the possibility of that.
That would be nice, but I'd rather have Jeff Wilson if I had to choose.
Man, we are split. I'm sorry, Gavin.
Sorry. I'm not sorry. Take my advice.
There you go.
And take my advice and then blame Addison.
Bet. In a rebuild, would you trade away Kenneth Walker or hold him for the potential Bijan-Kenneth Walker duo for next year? This is a depends on what you can get.
Yeah, I could trade. I'm always willing to trade any running back in a rebuild, but for someone like Ken Walker, it's better. It better be a good return. It better be good. It can't be just an okay return. Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, at least 2 firsts. How about, I don't know. Like, I'd like a player maybe. Like, could I get a combination like Chris Olave and George Pickens?
Ooh.
Something like that.
Olave and a first?
Oh. That might be pushing your luck.
Kick back a third.
Yeah, that might be pushing it. But sure, I would love it. Yeah.
Try it.
But you see the kind of things we're talking about.
Is Pickens a top 10 dynasty wide receiver? No. We're trading Ayuk in a mid-second form in 1 QB league.
I have Pickens at wide receiver 18 in Dynasty, which is very high, by the way.
I don't even know if he's in my top 20.
I have him at 18, so I'm sky high on him.
That's a terrible idea.
You know, I have George Pickens ahead of Devontae Adams in Dynasty.
He's like 10 years younger.
9 years younger, yeah. But yes, it's worth trading Ayuk in a mid-second for sure. I'd rather have Pickens.
I would take Pickens. Geno or Terrace Marshall, and has 16 team half PPR. I'm assuming 1 quarterback.
It's 1 quarterback out of Terrace Marshall.
I might take Geno. There's 16 teams. 12-team 1 quarterback contenders. D-Hop worth a late 23 first or a 24 first. If not, how big is the gap? Would you add Jamal Williams? I have the teams first who would give me Hop. Oh.
He's not worth it. No.
I might pay the 24 first.
No. There's other ways to win. You had your chance to buy DeAndre Hopkins.
I agree with that. Is Njoku worth a 2nd-round pick? I'd take the 2nd.
I'm certainly not paying the 23 second in this format.
No premium.
The 24 second is more reasonable, but in no tight end premium with Superflex, I'm just probably not buying Njoku. I'll just suffer.
Superflex 23 first, 103 or better, guaranteed. Or 3 firsts, 2 and 24 and 1 and 25.
I'll take the 3
take
first.
The 2023.
It's too risky.
Yeah, because if that pick is Bijan, Bijan alone is worth more than.
True, but if it's not, then it's probably the other stuff.
It's still 1 or 3 or better, so I'll just take the first, the 1. Trade Dobbins in a 23 second for Ramondre. 23 first for Pollard and Zeke. No.
23 first.
My goodness. The Pollard overratedness is insane. Like he's ever going to beat the guy. Would you trade JT for 2 firsts?
Man. Yeah, I think so.
If they're both late?
Then probably not.
Okay. If they're both mid to late. But like 108, 110.
Too vague.
106, 110.
No. Then I'll keep JT. Okay.
Start 3. Swift, ETN, Mostert, Drake, Foreman, Jamal Williams.
ETN and Swift.
And one more.
3.
Foreman.
Okay. Foreman then.
Those are my 3. Kirk and Jacoby Myers for DJ Moore.
In what?
Dynasty.
More barely. And redraft, I'll take Kirk and Myers.
That's my answer as well. We are on the same page. Who are your top 3 handcuffs in PPR redraft leagues? Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, now with Jeff Wilson gone, Elijah Mitchell would be an RB1. If
Rashad White.
Rashad White.
Oh, he might not be your top 3.
I don't know. I don't think he's top 3. I'm trying to think, like, if the starter went down, the backup would be how good? Like
Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison would be an RB1. Oh, AJ Dillon.
I was gonna say I was literally about to ask
Dillon,
you if you consider AJ Dillon a handcuff.
I think at this point you consider AJ Dillon a handcuff, although not this week. This week with 6 buys and against Detroit, you can actually play AJ Dillon if you have to, but this is very rare. I don't think you can play AJ Dillon most weeks.
All right, give me a third one just in case AJ Dillon is not.
Is Khalil Herbert still a handcuff? Because Montgomery went down, Khalil Herbert's better than Montgomery is now.
I'll agree with that.
Khalil Herbert actually might be the best handcuff. It's close. Because Montgomery went down, Khalil Herbert gets everything.
I'd have Rashad White up there too.
AJ Dillon and Khalil Herbert are similar in a way, in that Tony Pollard is in this camp as well. Players that, if the starter went down, would be ranked higher than the starter is now.
Bruh. What about Eno?
No. We've seen what that is.
Okay. Rashad White is up in that category. Is up in that conversation.
Jamal Williams is pretty good too.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Jamal Williams is an RB1 if Swift goes down.
Jamal
Williams is also in that category. Another player who's, if the starter goes down, is better than the starter is now. There's actually a lot of players like that. There's a lot of teams that only have 2 running backs that they trust. So if running back 1 goes down, running back 2 gets more percentage than running back 1 got. Weird how that works, but sometimes it's the case.
What are we doing with DJ Moore? Sell high on these past 2 games? Hold? Ride him out?
Ride him.
I want DJ Moore.
Ride him.
I love it. I love it. Should he make any moves?
This is not. I hate to be like frustrated with questions like this, but we just can't. I can't help you. I don't know how to answer this.
Trade away Leonard Fournette and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, but essentially, when you ask this, I can't tell you who to trade for, so because I don't know who has what. So you're just telling me who you want me to trade away.
Fournette and Dalvin Cook.
Well, of course, but we know that I don't like Fournette and Dalvin Cook.
Would you trade Kenneth Walker and Ayuk for Hollywood and Debo?
No, I'll take Walker and Ayuk. Debo's value is plummeting. Walker is worth the most here by far. So even though Hollywood is worth more than Ayuk, I'd rather have Walker. I need more than this to trade Walker away.
Okay. In Deep Dynasty League, what kind of value can you get for Deion Jackson sending him to a Jonathan Taylor manager?
I'll take any third and trade Jackson away.
Try for the second. Dangle the Jonathan Taylor injury in front of him and be like, listen, you need him. Dude like Deion and like a 2/3 and get a second. Great show from Andrew.
Thank you.
Defending champion in Dynasty, he lost Trey Lance, David Njoku, Hollywood, Irv Smith, David Njoku, Mike Williams, Breece Hall, and Javonte Williams. He started 5-0, and now he's 5-3. Oh my God. That sucks.
Brutal. But it is what it is.
Out.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to pour one out. I'll pour it in my mouth. I just sprayed myself. Gavin was saying high stakes in context to a 26-year-old backup and an undrafted Deion Jackson. That doesn't matter.
I think he was sarcastic. High stakes.
Oh my goodness. We're almost at the end.
I know.
I'm breezing. Dude, I should take over for Cal. This is how we run the show. Get through it. Thanks for answering my question.
It does go faster with only 2 of us.
Sent Hines for Ronnie Rivers, a 23 fourth and a 25 second. Nice.
Yeah, I'll take the
pick.
pick.
I remember that one from earlier.
We did that earlier.
We said take the second.
We did that. It's Walker.
Did that one. Trade Adams and Najee for Debo and Jonathan Taylor.
I'll take
Redraft.
Debo and Jonathan Taylor.
I agree in redraft because
Worried about Adams.
Najee ain't it.
Nope. Trent Richardson.
I have Lamar and Stafford redraft league. Would you give away Fields for Foreman?
Yes. If it's redraft, yes.
Can you give Stafford for Foreman instead?
Stafford's worthless. And redraft Stafford's not even worth rostering.
Just out of curiosity, PJ.
Sure.
Is Fields a start every week in Superflex now? Other options are Burrow and Cousins.
Okay, so I wouldn't say Fields is an every week start, but he's a start this week. I have him quarterback 8 against Miami.
Yeah, he's got. I think his next couple of weeks are sexy.
Yeah, but he's not locked in with every week starters yet. But he's up there. I have him at 8 this week.
PJ said he tried that. That was his counter. Yeah, I'd still
take it.
Field. I'd still trade Field. Sorry. Yeah, we're in there. Dynasty 12 team half PPR. Would you trade CeeDee Lamb in a third for an early first?
Oh man, how early? But no, I'll take Lamb anyway.
Unless it's the 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you trade Hall for ETN in a first?
Yeah.
I think
take ETN in a first. Yeah.
Evans or a 24 first?
Take the pick.
Me too. I'm gonna have a 2024 first video soon.
Oh.
You saw my tweet. So if you saw my tweet, it's just a video of that I can talk about more than just 240 characters. Jonathan Taylor and Ellinger in a 23 third for Metcalf in an early 23 first. 16 team super flex. Start 11.
I'll take the Metcalf side.
I agree. It's still that side.
Pretty easily.
Zach Wilson and Akers or Najee? 12 team super flex. This is all a bunch of
neither, please.
Najee,
I guess.
I
neither,
don't know.
Please, but Najee.
I'm so sorry for where
I'll take Najee, but it's neither. I don't want any of these players.
PJ says that you're the man, and he loves the show.
I would pretend to be modest and say no, I'm not. But no, thank you. I appreciate it. I do know that, but I do appreciate it.
Scott made it. I don't think I saw Scott in here earlier today, so glad you made it to the live show. 12 team single quarterback half PPR. Gibson or James Robinson in a 24 first.
24 first worth more than both players combined.
First. Would you trade the 101 for Andrews in a 2 tight end premium?
I'll take the 101 anyway.
Yeah, it's Bijan, dude.
Bijan, yeah.
Oh man, but that, yeah.
101 anyway. I understand it though.
I feel like a few weeks ago we were all on here talking about trying to send Fields for Zach Wilson. Things change quickly, even in
they
Dynasty.
do. Things change, but Zach Wilson looks so bad. My tweet about Zach Wilson got a lot of traction.
It's not it.
Oh, here we go.
Ricky.
Is Geno a buy for non-superflex contenders? I'd say so. If you can pay a third, yeah.
For non-superflex.
Oh, then a fourth.
1 QB?
Not really buying him much. It's not that valuable in 1 QB.
I don't really want to. Blaney, Team A, Kenneth Walker, and 2 high-end second-round picks. Or Jameson Williams, Saquon Barkley, and Nyheim Hines. This has a couple of our boys in it.
Walker. Yeah, Walker.
Oh, man, you said that so quickly.
It was decisive. The important thing is to be decisive and take a stance.
But Saquon and Kenneth Walker are relatively similar. Like you would take,
not really.
But the rest of it, like I want Jameson Williams over the 2 seconds.
Do you?
I guess high end seconds.
Yeah, do you really? I mean, in 12 teams reflex, you really want Jameson Williams of 2 early seconds? Because I don't. He's done nothing. I don't know about that.
Flip the script.
Walker.
All right, we'll take Walker. Najee in a second and Josh Reynolds for Waddle.
Waddle easily. Yeah, Waddle.
Waddle, my man. Waddle. Justin Fields' value just went up? Question mark.
Barely.
Again, I think it helps because when he throws the ball 10 times a game, it's not going to Dante Pettis. It's going to Chase Claypool.
That's funny. No, it went up a little bit. I'm willing to say that.
His primary value is based on his rushing ability. Like the dude's on pace for almost 1,000 rushing yards. So, but it's nice that if he can add in a little bit in the passing game, that raises the ceiling.
I agree.
Drake London or Swift in a 1 QB PPR?
Man, Swift.
I still want Swift.
But
I haven't given up yet.
I'm getting there.
How much fab are we dropping on Ronnie Rivers?
Like
$1.
15%.
I don't want him at all.
I do.
I don't. Kyron Williams is going to be the guy in a week.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that.
I don't want Ronnie Rivers.
Oh.
Already gave up J. Robin.
Give up J. Robin a first for Gibson. J. Robin and Gibson are not even that different in value. I'd rather have Gibson. That was close. Oh, whoops.
Wait. This was the 20. We said to take the 20. We said to take the pick, right?
Yes.
Now I'm confused.
I don't know, man.
Okay. CMC RB3?
No.
He's
CMC at RB6.
Yeah. I was a top Justin Fields hater, and I just bought him a few days ago.
And
things change quickly.
Yep.
And yes, Kyron, I'm not saying that he's going to be good. I'm just saying that the fact that they went to Ronnie Rivers shows that they hate Darrell Henderson. They don't want Cam Akers. And whenever Kyron Williams comes back, they're going to want to see what they have in Kyron Williams. So they're going to play him for a game. And if he takes over, he takes over. If not, then that's good. But none of this equates to Ronnie Rivers being a guy.
Let's see what happens.
I don't want Ronnie Rivers. The best PPR performance a Rams running back has posted to date in this season is 12.3 points.
Okay.
I stand firm. I stand on it. The anthill. Zach Wilson or Calvin Ridley, David Bell, and Sam Howell. Three super flex.
Zach Wilson in this format.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. I love Rondell Moore as a player. He's athletic background.
It would be nice if he produced.
He was an amazing prospect. Sorry, not amazing, but he was just
he was a pretty good prospect.
He was a really fun one to watch and to study a little bit. I don't want to say he's like perfect, but he was really good. Early second or Jameson Williams?
Jameson Williams.
What's Ridley's value? Is he worth a second?
Maybe.
He shouldn't be, but he probably is.
Barely. Not really.
I would take any second for Calvin Ridley.
I probably would too.
This year or next.
Yeah, sure.
And there it is. Bam. We even started late and we finished early. Love it. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. Next week, Cal hopefully is back. He was dealing with some parenting issues. Everything's fine though. But yeah, hopefully he's back next week. And I don't got anything else more to say. Tyler, anything more for you?
No. Just appreciate everyone.
Everybody needs to like it. Like the video.